bright deep inside you. When will you ever let it shine from within and cast all of your fears aside? You'll see the light until...
Hello and welcome back to Kingdom Reviews. I'm your host, Future Keybearer. Today, we journey to the Cité des Cloches. Okay, no, I don't usually do this, but we gotta talk about the name of this world.
In case you couldn't tell, the name is French, meaning the City of Bells. It's not a bad name by any means, but...
Why is the official name of this world in French?
Now before you say anything, yes, I know that Hunchback of Notre Dame is a French story taking place in the middle of Paris. And honestly, it is kind of cool to have the name be in the native tongue.
But to date, this is the only world in the series that does this.
Beauty and the Beast takes place in France as well, but we don't refer to Beast's castle as Le Château de la Bête.
Again, this isn't a problem, just I find it weird is all.
Anyway, starting with Sora's story, we see him go past an unfriendly individual.
You know Frollo works as a villain when he can make even Sora uncomfortable with just one glare.
Stop.
What? Who? Me?
There's literally no one else here.
I've never seen you before. Your name?
I'm Sora.
Such disgusting attire. I know what you are.
A protagonist. Also, holy crap, someone actually notices that Sora's outfit doesn't match the setting! What, was everyone else just too nice to say anything?
Judge Frollo. Sir.
What is the matter, Captain Phoebus? Can't you see I am interrogating this gypsy?
This kid here? But, sir, he's just a boy.
That's Mr. Boy to you!
Anyway, Phoebus here came to give warning of a monster attack, and naturally Sora goes to deal with it. We then learn about the reality shift of this world, Faithline, which basically allows you to rail slide through nearby enemies for a bit.
And on the original 3DS version, you had to actually connect the enemies using the touchscreen. I know there was no feasible way to recreate that on consoles, unless you're using the Wii U, but I still miss it.
So naturally, Sora gets to the town square where the Nightmare Dream Eaters are... being surprisingly docile.
Yeah, why?
At least when the Heartless were dancing with Jack in KH1, it was implied that there was some sort of device controlling them. Here they're just having a good time with Quasimodo. And the good times end when he sees Frollo, and the nightmares seem to pick up on his fear.
See, if these were originally spirits that got turned into / taken out by nightmares, then that would at least make a bit more sense. As is, we have no reason to believe they would act like this.
Get to safety!
Let me help.
Huh? Who are you?
Esmeralda, I'm a gypsy.
And the award for most awkward and rushed character introduction in the Kingdom Hearts series goes to... Esmeralda!
So Esmeralda takes Quasi inside, while Sora deals with the nightmares. Afterwards, he decides to follow suit and check in on him. Once inside the bell tower, Sora meets some interesting friends.
Looks like Quasi's gonna be just fine.
Indisputably. He's tough.
We may be hard as stone, but Quasi's stronger.
I know. Whoa! Talking gargoyles!
Sora, these guys are hardly the strangest thing you've seen on your journey.
Excuse us for having personality.
But if you think we're impressive, you should see our buddy Goliath.
While Quasi helps Esmeralda down from the tower, Victor, Hugo, and Laverne here give Sora some backstory. And we get an optional flashback that really just repeats what Sora was just told.
Hell, if this was in any other game, this bit would have been shown at the beginning right before Sora landed.
Also, this bit adds to my frustration of the game's not having more musical moments, as Frollo's dialogue is almost word for word his part in Out There.
The world is cruel.
The world is cruel.
And you are deformed and ugly.
You are deformed.
I am deformed.
And you are ugly.
You will be shown little pity.
These are crimes for which the world shows little pity.
You must believe me. I am your only friend.
I am your only friend.
And how can I protect you, my dear boy, unless you stay in here?
How can I protect you, boy, unless you always stay in here?
I know we'll get there, but... God!
So outside, Sora runs into Phoebus.
Hold it. You're that guy with Frollo.
Easy. I'm not looking for any sort of fight. Finally, someone sensible.
Not the first word I'd use to describe Sora, but okay.
It's Judge Frollo. He's obsessed with destroying the gypsies, and his mind is in a dark place. When I objected to his barbarous actions, he banished me from the guard.
We're only up there for 5 minutes!
Anyway, for some reason, Quasi is still on the streets, overhearing how Esmeralda is in danger, and the trio band together to find the Court of Miracles.
And it's here where having the Dream Eaters be your party is starting to annoy me.
See, in any other KH game, this would be the point where at least one of these guys would join the party. Hell, since this game can clearly handle 2 friends in the party, have both of them. I imagine they would be very useful, as the path to the Court of Miracles has a few dangers, the first of which is dealing with these giant flower nightmares in order to unbar the path, and in the catacombs, we've got this mist that will increase the speed of your drop gauge.
I get that you don't want your players to dawdle, but isn't this a bit much?
Upon reaching the court, our heroes try to warn Esmeralda, but as it turns out, Frollo followed them there. Somehow.
There'll be a bonfire in the square.
The way he moved behind her almost made that creepier than the movie. What, I said almost.
But before Sora can put a stop to this...
No, not yet. Surprisingly enough.
After Sora comes to, he books it over to the town square, and thankfully we don't have to manually run all the way back. While Sora's too late to stop the burning, Quasi swoops in with his magically extending rope.
And his Spider-Man powers, apparently.
Sanctuary!
My sanctuary.
Too obvious?
And now Sora gets around too with the monster that knocked him out, the Wargoyle. I find this fight interesting as the arena is far too wide to abuse flow motion. Unless you can lure him towards the cathedral. While all this is going down, Frollo gets his comeuppance and Quasi and Phoebus break the laws of reality.
Or at least, I thought so.
When I first saw this, I thought Quasi fell for a bit like in the movie, yet still got caught at the top. Upon further inspection, the editing is tight enough to say Phoebus just grabbed him in time.
I wanted to use an MST3K clip.
So Quasi does some shipping, and encouraged by Sora and the Gargoyles, decides to see what's out there.
But not before this weird observation.
Quasimodo, you can't let your heart be...
I know. I can't blame Frollo for putting walls around me. It wasn't the walls that were holding me back.
No, you can absolutely blame Frollo. Those metaphorical walls around your heart were only there because of his gaslighting.
Regardless, Sora reflects on this before the mysterious figure shows up with a vision of Vanitas, telling him that his heart is also a prison. Just not for him. But no time to worry about that, there's a keyhole to unlock. And we get a very abridged written retelling of the plot of Birth by Sleep. Because Vanitas.
Yeah, presumably because this was going to be the last full game before KH3, and because it was celebrating the series' 10th anniversary, you get these chronicles that serve the purpose of trying to catch you up on everything.
Anyway, now we can move on to Riku's story. We arrive on Phoebus and Frollo chasing Esmeralda.
And it feels like as good a time as any to tell you that Sora and Riku's stories aren't exactly connected in the Disney worlds. It's really more like 2 different versions of the same events. Does Esmeralda just have a cache of smoke bombs on hand?
Anyway, as she escapes, she runs past Riku, who decides not to give her up to Phoebus.
All right. Thanks.
Why are you still here?
Thank you. You stood up for me. I'm Esmeralda.
Riku.
Okay, that was a much more natural introduction.
After hearing about Frollo, Riku is interested to know more, and Esmeralda suggests that he go to the cathedral to find answers. Upon arrival, he meets Quasimodo, who tells him that Frollo is at the edge of town. Before leaving, Riku tries to encourage Quasimodo to go out and meet people. Screw what Frollo says about him. On his way out, Riku gets attacked by a flying variant of the Wargoyle. Thus, the next good chunk of the level is trying to make it to the outskirts of town while dodging the thing's fireballs.
What's your point, person within fireball distance?
That I feel like we spent a little too long doing this?
Eventually, we make it to our destination, where Phoebus is defending a home from Frollo.
What demon is this?
Oh, you are mistaken, Captain Phoebus. This is no demon. It is righteous judgment.
The hell kind of Bible are you reading where that is not a demon?
Phoebus tries to fight the thing, but gets his ass handed to him. Thus, Riku offers to go after it. Then another pointless flashback that would have been better served at the beginning of the level. After making the long trek to the now on fire town, just look at how this city is ablaze. Riku encounters Quasi again, holding an exhausted Esmeralda.
Oh, what did I miss? Is she going to be alright?
I'm fine. Thanks to Quasimodo.
I missed a lot! Quasimodo, where did the creature go?
It's up there.
You would think he'd notice that.
You'd be surprised how rarely anybody looks up.
Wait, I'll go with you.
Hell yeah!
Thanks, but stay with her.
What? No! I mean, fair, but no!
After Riku passes yet another opportunity for party members.
Okay, maybe not full party members, but active participants like Phil in KH2 or the fairies in Birth by Sleep.
We see Frollo go full cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Judgment is mine!
Honestly, that might be a better way for him to go out, still insisting that he's in the right.
Suddenly, Riku gets a familiar visitor.
You're Ansem!
Ansem is here to insist that Riku still needs to accept the darkness inside him. But Riku basically tells him to shove it.
Wasn't that his whole arc in Chain of Memories?
And focuses his attention on the Wargoyle. Personally, I like this version of the fight a lot better as you fly around trying to fight the thing. Though, the logic behind it is a bit odd. Something about riding the heat from the flames?
Unless Riku is made of helium, I don't think that tracks. But then again, this is technically a dream, so...
It's just the logic of a dream and nothing more.
After the fight, we get a brief conversation about keeping emotions hidden before Riku also locks the keyhole. Once both sides of the story are completed, we get a scene of Roxas and Axel atop the Twilight Town clock tower, where Roxas reminds Axel of a promise to always bring them back. We then see Axel as well as a few other organization members have been restored to human.
So that was La Cité des Cloches. A pretty okay world.
I really liked how they managed to get the look of the film, particularly a lot of the colors down. While a bit more fun in the Feast of Fools would have been appreciated, it was nice to see the various locations. However, it does feel like Sora got a lot more to explore than Riku did, and having the better boss fight did not help. Overall, a pretty decent first Disney World.
Well, that's it for this episode. Tune in next time as we wish upon a star.